I'm Ryan Lathan, Director of Marketing and Communications at Fort Worth Opera. And today I'm thrilled to be sitting down with Brandon Bell, Bridget Cappel, and Judith Rodriguez, three of the stars of Hector Armienta's swashbuckling new opera, Zorro. Good afternoon. How are y'all doing today?
Hola.
Well, I appreciate you taking the time to sit down and speak with me. Let's get right to it. This question is for all of you. What has been the most rewarding and or challenging aspect of learning these new roles of yours for Zorro?
I'll go first. I think for me, they're kind of one and the same, just because we're getting to kind of create this the way we envision it, the way we hear it. And so I think one of the cool things about our art form being like so old as it is that you have a lot of recordings, like historic recordings and things that you can kind of use to influence your performance. And so obviously we don't have that with Zorro because it's brand new and we're the first people to perform it. And so on one hand, like you don't have that influence to guide you, but on the other hand, it's cool that you don't have that influence because now I can kind of do this the way that I feel it and the way I want it. And you don't always get that opportunity with our art form. So it's been a lot of fun to kind of just allow myself to feel the music the way it feels and sing it the way I want to.
Yeah,
ladies.
I totally agree with that too. It's like fun to bring your own artistry to something that no one has done before. I love what Hector did with it's like complicated musically in ways. So I've had fun like tearing that apart and trying to, you know, learn it and everything. And but like it's written so well for the voice. I feel like Tortorina is just like, you know, fits like a glove, and that has been just really fun to like indulge in her stuff.
Well, for me, singing the role of Luisa has been very different from other roles that I've had to perform. And sometimes you have to perform dramatic roles, and then other times you have to perform, you know, like comedy roles. And so for me, she's the comedy, I think. And so I feel like I get to have a lot more fun on stage with this role. So I love it. And I think it's a great opportunity to give rest to the drama during the whole opera. So that's why I like it. So it's been fun developing the role of Luisa.
Judith, you're a native Texan. You grew up in San Antonio, and you did some of your early studies here in Fort Worth at TCU. Shout out to TCU. And that's where we met. We met once upon a time, and that was just yesterday. Yeah. Then you moved to Spain, and for many years, you shared your golden voice with audiences across the pond. So as a Spanish music specialist, you are a huge champion at zarzuelas, and you perform many of them throughout Europe. What is it about this centuries-old genre that really, 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 really excites you as a performer?
Well, it excites me. Just the language in Spanish it's like home to me. You know, I don't know if you've ever seen the movie Zorro, the one with the characters Antonio Banderas and Catherine Zeta-Jones. And there's a part where she's hearing the voice of her father, and that calls to her, and she's familiar with it. And so for me, listening and singing Spanish and performing it, it's just like being at home, you know. And so I feel a connection, a great deep connection with zarzuela and also with Zorro, because it's bilingual. You have English and Spanish. So I love it.
Brandon, I'm gonna have to brag about you just a little bit, if you don't mind.
Okay.
Okay. For those of you who do not know, and why don't you already, you should, Mr. Bell has just joined the roster of Stratagem artists. Shout out to the incredible Justin Werner, he's amazing. You recently finished your tenure as a resident artist with Utah Opera. You're here with us this season as part of the amazing Hattie Mae Leslie Resident Artist Program. And you're returning to Des Moines Metro Opera this coming summer to perform roles and covers in Porgy and Bess and American Apollo. So big kudos to you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. I'm always really interested in this particular question, but what was that like? What was that one aha moment? I love in opera when people are like the comedic characters. Remember, like Le Nozze di Figaro, and they're like aha, and you're like, okay, that's like the signal for aha. Anyway, that made you want to pursue a career as a classical singer, and what do you love most about this art form the more that you perform it?
Yeah. So I mean, I grew up like ever since I was super little knowing I wanted to be a singer. Just like loved singing around the house. And like when I was like in second grade, I had to like did this project of what I wanted to be when I grew up. And I wrote down like I wanted to be a singer or an astronaut if like singing didn't work out. And so like I knew I wanted to be a singer since I was super little, but I ended up going to a performing arts high school in ninth grade. And we would go to operas at Virginia Opera and the Met every year. And my first opera that I saw my freshman year was The Tales of Hoffmann, and which is like amazing. But I remember being in the audience and like hearing the Kleinsack aria for the first time. And for me, like that blew my mind. I'd never seen anything like it. And I remember like the next day, like trying to find the sheet music for it, even though like I was never going to like sing the aria ever. But like I was completely, I don't know, just like engulfed in like, it was a new way to use my voice that for the first time felt really natural to me. It made me feel like my voice belonged. And so from that moment on, I kind of decided that like I was going to go for it. And so, yeah, since like I was like 14, I've been like going for it. But so I came into opera like voice first, like really loving singing. And beautiful singing and getting to explore my voice and just sing pretty music. But as I go along, I think I've really fallen in love with like the storytelling aspect as much as the singing aspect, and kind of getting to, you know, use my voice to just explore different walks of life, different people's experiences, different stories. And so I think that's one of the things that recently has become really, really important to me, like in my operatic journey, is just like, I love singing, I love using my voice, and I love sounding pretty, you know, but I also love being able to use my voice to tell stories. And I think that's why opera has really like drawn me in and kept me in it for this little bit of time.
Bridget, I just wanted to tell you this as a side note, you're actually one of my favorite mezzos that I've heard. I really I really heart your voice, and I'm looking forward to these audiences hearing it. You again, especially here in Fort Worth. So anyway, just thought I would share. In addition to performing on the stage, you are you're a videographer, you're a photographer, you're a voice technician, and this is pretty awesome. You're the lead singer and producer of the rock opera quartet, The Tapestry. So when did you start, like, you know, tapping in? Oh, I can't believe I said that. Into these creative facets of yourself, and how do you think they make you a stronger artist when you step into a new operatic role?
Yeah, so I mean, I think I've been this way like since before I could talk. I've always been a singer kid, similar to you, Brandon. I've always been singing and performing, and had like a big imagination. I'm a very visual person, so I feel like it came very natural to me to like tap into those things in reality and in the physical world. And yeah, I've always thought about, you know, being a director, and I would have my friends put on little plays and make movies and edit them. And it's just always been like something that has come naturally. I can't stay away from the multifaceted part of the, you know, creative artist inside me. So I actually had a cello/violin teacher, so if that tells you anything, say to me that you're a jack of all trades, and you'll never be good at the violin. And I'm like, well, that's not the point. Like, I'm soaking it all in. I want to get a little bit of everything. So I feel like as an opera singer, it allows me to bring a lot of different perspectives to my art. I'm able to visualize this story and really like embody these characters, and I think it just informs my art in a multifaceted way, and allows me to be a more creative, open-minded artist.
That's great.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, of course. Judith, quick question for you. I know we've known each other for a very long time, and I know that you have studied with really some of the most recognizable names in the opera world, including the late, great prima donnas Mirella Freni and Montserrat Caballé. What was it like working with these extraordinary artists, and what pearls of wisdom did they leave with you?
Wow. Working with Freni and Caballé was just an amazing experience. And when I look back at that experience, I just think it's just a great honor to have had the privilege of working with them, because they were legendary. I mean, they still are, because they've left behind a lot of recordings that we usually listen to, And both of them were very similar. Sometimes they were both very generous human beings. Even if you listen to them in concert, you could get like maybe 4 or 5 encores out of both of them, and they loved being able to sing and teach as well. And pearls of wisdom, well, I just remember that both of them were very encouraging to me as a singer, and just that encouragement gave me, I guess, validation.
Yeah.
and that made me feel like I was on the right path. So just to be validated by them is an incredible honor, and it I mean, it's just amazing. It was just an amazing experience with both of them. Mm-hmm.
Judith, you had mentioned this, but I know that briefly, but you're part of this comedic duo with Brandon. So it's not just you as the big comic relief, it's the two of you together, and you are the kind of the heart on your sleeves lovers. It's very funny, and I'm really, really looking forward to seeing the two of you like ham it up on stage. But I question for you, Brandon, like you've done roles like the corporal in Donizetti's La Fille du Régiment, and even Missy Mazzoli's Breaking the Waves. So you've dabbled in a little bit of comedy and a little bit of drama. What do you prefer the most, and why?
That's a hard question. I think I don't know. I don't know if I have a preference. I know that me, like as a viewer and as someone who like enjoys theater, I love drama. And so like I think my sensibilities are like just like what I love in theater, like tends to want to be like the dramatic force, like ruining and messing up stuff. But I also find a lot of joy in like being in like getting to contribute to the story in the other way, And so I think thinking of it in that way of like, I just love being able to be a part of the puzzle that makes the grand story. And so whether that's, in one show, I am like the reason why you're crying, or in another show, I am like the reason why you're laughing. Like I find they're both special in different ways. And so I don't know if I prefer them. I think maybe the dramatic one it allows me to express a side of me that I don't tap into maybe normally, like or throughout my day-to-day. And so like getting to be comedic is like, it's just fun. It's like being in the playground, but being dramatic is like just getting to explore life in a different way. Right. So maybe if I had to choose, maybe the dramatic, but like I don't know. I think the comedy in Zorro is going to be a lot of fun, and I look forward to that a lot. So,
oh, it's going to be great. I can't wait. So a little side note for the uninitiated here. Bridget was one of our Hattie Mae Leslie resident artists in years prior, and so was your husband, Eric Earl Larson. I've always wanted to ask you this, Bridget, but what is it like being married to another opera singer? I mean, I think there are a lot of people out there that would be curious to know how the two of you all just make the whole thing work.
So dramatic. No, but honestly, it's like, it's the best, and it's so great, and it's not for everybody, but for us, it really, really works, like truly. We, we'll go on the road together and audition together, and it's actually like so fun to get to like wake up and get ready for the audition, and we warm up and we're like validating each other, and then before we go into the room we're like, you got this. So it's like, having like your cheerleader and your coach on the road with you.
Yeah.
And and we sing all the time in the house, and I'll hear from across the room like some high notes, and then like, how does that sound? And I'll be like, that's great, but like, lift it a little, and we'll help each other with that. So it's really awesome, and it's really special, and I feel really lucky to have that kind of partnership with him.
He's a good guy. You're lucky. I guess I just have one more final question for all of you collectively. So rehearsals have just started to kick off for Zorro, and you've had some time to start, marinating in your characters and the score. What do you think Fort Worth audiences can expect from this amazing new piece, and why should they just like run out and buy tickets right now?
Go ahead, Judith. All right, I'll go. So I am so excited. What I am looking forward to so much is this fight choreography. And I can't wait to see that. Like if I was an audience member, I would be like rushing out the door to see that. And I think that the music is just it's accessible and it's beautiful, and the story it's relatable, and also just like anyone could come to see it and get something out of it and enjoy it. And I think that's what I'm most excited for.
Is there like with is there a certain part in your role that you like in the plot? Like is there something about your character or a certain part of the opera that really kind of like resonates with you?
Yeah, so I really connect with Torquerina's character. She is she led a rebellion, at least historically, not at least in this context, but she has like so much strength and so much heart, and so much love for Diego and the people that surround her, this like big family. And there's a moment towards the end where Diego is swearing vengeance and violence, and she says, violence is not the way. You're here to bring them hope and show them a path out of the darkness. And like that moment and that music speaks to me so much, just like her mentorship and her love and her empowering him to be like the best version of himself. It's really special.
And for you all, Brandon?
Yeah, I found the story just in my learning and rehearsing on my own. I found it so dynamic, and just filled with so much, drama and excitement, but so many really cool lessons to learn as well. My character Gomez specifically, he goes through this entire journey of really doubting himself and his self-worth, and really has to, or really comes to terms with what kind of man he is really, and where his place in all of this is. I think that's a really exciting thing, even if he's having so much fun along the way. A really cool thing to also get to discover in this grand story, about Zorro, right? And so I think there's just so much in the story that's really, really cool and really accessible, and the music is unlike anything I've ever personally experienced in the Opera House, which I'm really excited to bring that this special score to people as well, because I want people to feel seen, not just by the story, but also by the beautiful music that we're sharing. So I think that's one of the really cool reasons why I think people should rush to buy tickets, because it's going to be a lot of fun and it's going to be really cool.
What do you think, Judith?
I think the audience should expect a lot of high notes. At least for me, some high notes in there. A lot of Spanish melodies, I think. I love the music. And I can connect to it. So and it's bilingual as well. So you'll hear English and Spanish. So it's just a great new piece that people should rush out to go buy tickets for. It's exciting. There's going to be, sword fighting and everything. And I love fencing. I had to do a fencing class for Don Giovanni one time. So it's a lot of fun. Yeah.
Thanks, y'all, for talking to me. I really, really, really appreciate it. Opera lovers out there, don't miss your chance to see Brandon Bell, Bridget Cappel, I feel like the Brady Bunch here, Brandon Bell, Bridget Cappel, and Judith Rodriguez in the world premiere of Hector Armienta's Zorro, January 26th and 28th at the historic Rose Marine Theater. Visit fwopera.org to secure your seats today. Thanks, y'all. Have an awesome day.
You
Bye.
too.
See you on the stage soon.
Adios.
Adios.